now on Denver 7 News at 10. Churchgoers tied down the gunman in yet another mass shooting this weekend. What they did being called an exceptional act of bravery. Plus,
100% adrenaline. I didn't have shoes on and I ran as fast as I could and I got into space.
A bike thief caught in the act. How neighbors in Denver's Capitol Hill took matters into their own hands.
You can smell the open buckets that they're using to go to the bathroom. And so it's not a space where we want to have children around.
Begging the city to take action after an RV camp moves into a quiet Denver neighborhood and brings new danger with it.
I can honestly look at you in the eye and tell you it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Inspiring others with every finish line he crosses. How one veteran says nothing will stop him from running in the Colfax Marathon. Starting with some developing news tonight, another accidental shooting, this time in Commerce City. The shooting happened at a home near Jasper and 119th Avenue. Police were called around 6 p.m. They say when they got there, they found an adult male with a gunshot wound. Police say the injuries were sustained from a shotgun. The victim was taken to the hospital while police continue to investigate. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bayan Wang.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. The violence continues this weekend after another mass shooting, this one at a church in Laguna Woods, California.
One person is dead and many others were hurt. This is the community that I grew up in. As ABC's Raheen Shah reports, we're now learning that people inside the congregation actually stepped in to take down the suspect.
A lunch after a morning service at Geneva Presbyterian Church in Laguna Woods ended to this after a gunman opened fire, leading to one person dead and 4 others in the hospital. Tonight, officials shared that it was a heroism of the group who managed to take down the suspect before he could hurt any others.
We believe a group of churchgoers detained him and hogtied his legs with an extension cord and confiscated at least 2 weapons from him. He was detained when the deputies arrived. That group of churchgoers displayed what we believe is exceptional heroism and bravery in intervening to stop the suspect. They undoubtedly prevented additional injuries and fatalities.
The suspect is in custody and is believed to be an Asian man in his 60s. Deputies don't believe he lives in the area and are working to see if he has a connection to the congregation. There are believed to be 30 to 40 people inside at that time that deputies will be talking with to learn more about what happened inside.
Our thoughts are to all the members of that congregation and their families. And I think that we have to think, and I know we do think, the city of Laguna Woods is so pleased. The cities nearby immediately contacted it and wanted to support us. It was so outstanding to have that happen.
And 2 handguns were recovered at the scene. ATF will be investigating that. In the meantime, an investigation will continue to try to learn more about what led up to this shooting. Here in Colorado, Denver City Council will be amending an ordinance tomorrow to prohibit firearms in city-owned or leased buildings and city parks. That meeting is at 5:30.
Hundreds of firefighters are hard at work tonight as the Hyde Park fire near Cripple Creek continues to burn. At last check, fire officials say the fire has grown to nearly 1,500 acres and is 27% contained. There are pre-evacuation notices in effect for Firelight Mountain Mesa, Monarch, and Lost Canyon. An evacuation center has been set up at Woodland Park High School. Teller County is under Stage 2 fire restrictions.
This is a problem popping up over and over in Denver. People living in RVs creating camps in neighborhoods. Denver 7's Patrick Perez shows us a Southwest Denver neighborhood where homeowners are pleading with the city for help.
It's a beautiful park in the heart of this Southwest Denver neighborhood, but in the past few weeks, homeowners say Aspgren Park has become inaccessible.
People have been throwing knives and throwing stars at trees. There's open buckets of feces. There's loud music playing. There's generators running. More people starting to congregate in the park sleeping at night.
Ken Knobloch is the president of the Athmar Park Neighborhood Association. He's speaking on behalf of nearby homeowners, including himself, who say their new neighbors are causing problems.
I usually take my 17-month-old son to the park to play, and I definitely don't feel safe taking him there now.
Knobloch says there have also been fights among the RV campers, and police have been called on several occasions.
We are really asking for the city to help us out with the situation. We understand it's really difficult, but we keep getting answers it's kind of like there's nothing we can do.
We reached out to the Department of Housing Stability. A spokesperson says they're aware of the concerns and they're working to make sure outreach teams are servicing the area. Denver police did not respond to a request for comment. Knobloch just hopes his neighborhood isn't forgotten and that the situation doesn't get any worse.
You can't help but have the feeling that if this was In Wash Park, you would never see 10 RVs lined up in Wash Park. You wouldn't see open toilets in Wash Park.
Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
And when it comes to cleaning up homeless encampments, Denver police are no longer required to give a 7-day notice before a sweep. At the beginning of this month, a U.S. Court of Appeals overturned that requirement. However, city officials say they still plan to continue giving notice to those forced out of their places.
When some Denver neighbors saw a thief in action in the backyard, they decided to take action themselves.
Yeah, and they tell Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez, even though they caught the crook, police never responded.
For the LaRoe family, their Sunday was supposed to be spent watching their son play in a baseball tournament. Instead, it took an unexpected turn.
I was putting away some groceries and walked down some stairs and looked out the window and noticed a man in my backyard with his hands on our bicycle.
A feeling hard to describe, but one Laura was quick to react to.
He was lifting it and sort of backing out, and I went running out as fast as I could, and I just screamed as loud, and I didn't stop screaming, and he put the bike down, and then he kind of went to our back alley, and I followed him out.
Her husband Greg was mowing the front lawn when he was alerted by a neighbor.
Yeah, I kind of turned the corner in the front lawn, looked down, and one of our neighbors was telling me to shut off the mower, and your wife is, something happened here. And
alongside his neighbor, Greg decided to track the man down, who he says even threatened to come back and harm his family.
There's one more neighbor that we were, the ones sort of confronting him or very close to him within, a few feet. So we just sort of kept him there, and a couple neighbors called 911, and we didn't know how long we were going to have to keep him or what was going on.
But after calling 911, Greg says police never showed.
That would be the most frustrating part, right? Got to be probably 45, 50 minutes where I was like, well, we have to go to my kid's baseball game, so I was like, I'll see you later.
Denver 7 reached out to DPD to see why an officer didn't respond, but we did not receive a response.
A 911 call with those types of circumstances around it seems like an important thing, but maybe it's worse somewhere else.
A moment this family wants others to be aware of, while at the same time showing how their neighborhood came together.
It's just a shame that everything has to be locked up, even when you mow the lawn on a Sunday morning.
Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Taking matters into their own hands. Ivan, thank you. Now, this isn't the first time Good Samaritans have stepped in to help stop a thief recently. On May 5th, the owner of the Comida restaurant at the Stanley Marketplace says one of her employees caught the man stealing a bike. She chased him down because her employees' bikes have been stolen before. In just the prior days, the man wasn't able to get on the bike and was eventually apprehended by several people. They kept him on the ground until police arrived.
This is a send-off fit for heroes. This caravan was organized by High Plains Honor Flight to take several veterans to DIA, where they then will take off on the honor flight for Washington, D.C. There, they will visit the memorials at no cost to them. Now, the honor flight is an ongoing effort to show appreciation to our veterans and give them the recognition they deserve. Tonight's full moon is having Colorado stargazers seeing red. Look at this, wow.
My goodness, the total lunar eclipse is taking over the sky right now. Denver 7 photographer Jordan Ward is live at the Denver Astronomical Society, where Coloradans are gathering to enjoy the beautiful show. According to NASA, a lunar eclipse happens when the moon, earth, and sun fall into alignment, with the moon passing through Earth's shadow.
Okay, this is the cool part. When the moon passes through the darkest part of the Earth's shadow, called the umbra, it's known as a total lunar eclipse. The total eclipse can be seen until about 11 o'clock tonight, but you can catch a glimpse of the partial eclipse until midnight.
Yeah, and get this, about 2 lunar eclipses occur every year. The next total eclipse will be in November. After that, we won't see one until March 2025.
Coming up, whether you're renting or owning, Coloradans are feeling the pinch in rising prices. We take a look at a few solutions in the works.
We're just going to try to change the way the music industry sort of supports their own around sobriety and their recovery journeys.
Supporting sobriety, how one local program is bringing musicians and music lovers together to help their journey in recovery.
Just because it's tough does not mean that it's not possible.
Plus, making a statement one finish line at a time. The message one veteran is spreading with every marathon he runs.